He applied himself, earned the right to be here on this stage. He's going to be speaking to us about taking ownership of your life. Ladies and gentlemen, this young man traveled all the way from Florida just to be with us today and be with us this weekend. Please, let's give a warm round of applause to Anthony Padilla. Come on up, Anthony! Woo, 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 woo. Brother, how you doing?
How you doing?
Doing fine.
Check. Got that? That's what you call energy. All right. Awesome. What an amazing entrance, right? Okay, so if you would have told me 7 years ago that I'll be speaking for the very first time on stage today, I would have told you that you were crazy. I do want to ask you guys something. But first, before I ask you, I wanted to tell you how grateful I am for you and how much I appreciate this opportunity. Now, I want to ask, is it okay if I lead you through a story that took me to an answer that would change your life? Yes. That's okay? Yes. Awesome. All right. So, for many years of my life, I have lived in a prison. A prison designed by the people that I grew up around. A prison with no bars and no walls that I designed myself, brick by brick. Have you ever been in a dark, empty room where you believed deep down that this is where I belong? Where you felt as if you did not have the power to move from where life placed you? In that small, dark, empty room. Each of the 4 black walls sucking away of any light and leaving you with nothing but darkness and feeling hopeless. Now, let's go back to when I grew up in the streets of Chicago. Life was like war. I constantly ran into this feeling. So I want you to know that I know exactly how it feels to be sitting alone in that small, dark, empty room. People constantly throwing at me, Anthony, you are nothing but a nobody, a gangbanger, a drug dealer. I remember clearly someone telling me, Anthony, you are nothing but a piece of gum stuck to the bottom of my shoe. Everything was thrown at me as if they were a drill sergeant. And being such a young child and hearing such harsh words, I started questioning who Anthony really is. The more I thought about all those harsh words, the more all those harsh words was carved deeper into my heart. Nobody. Gangbanger. Prison bait. Each one of those words traveled through my thoughts, deep down into my heart, and implanted onto my mind. Being that young child, I stopped questioning who Anthony really was. And I began to welcome who they said Anthony was. I began to expect to drop out. I began to be a nobody. And I prepared myself to end up in prison. And in result, I took myself down a really rough path. A path filled with a lot of suffering. One day, everything from my past began to rise above water. Every word, every action, every memory. Instantly, I folded over like a baby, and I received a feeling I would honestly never be able to describe to you. But what I can tell you is that God touched me and changed my life forever. Now, from that moment on, I started pulling away from the bad environments. I began reflecting on my past experiences and coming up with solutions to fix what was broken. History remained history and never repeated itself again. And in result, I end up here. And the sad thing about this whole entire story is, at one point, they were right. And today, they're all congratulating me. And guys, I'm not saying this with cockiness. I'm not saying this to say, hey, I'm the man. I'm not saying this so you guys can pay attention to me. I'm saying this is because I have been in this dark, empty room. And if you have been there too, I am pleased to say that you do not stand alone. So my point is that if I did it, I know you could do it. By simply taking action, right? By making a decision to want to change your life. It's as simple as that. And I'm not saying that it happens overnight, but it's as simple as wanting to make a decision. And then you follow up with some action. And who knows where that will take you, right? So, the day I made that decision, I used these simple words. I decide today to take ownership of my life. That day in that dark, empty room, all alone, feeling hopeless, fear, and deep depression, I said to myself, I decide today to take ownership of my life. So I'm going to give you guys the opportunity right now to do so. Okay? And it's simple. I want you to repeat it with me. But I only want you to repeat it with me if you're serious. And if you're willing to make this commitment, not for me, but not for anybody else in this room, but for yourself. All right? And we're going to go beyond just the people inside this room. We're going to let the world know. Okay? So I'm taking out my phone. Is that okay, guys? Yeah, you guys give me permission? Perfect. It's time to take ownership of your life. So I'm putting it on video. And at a count of 3, 1, 2, 3, not yet, 1, 2, 3, we're all going to say it together. Like I said, only if you're serious and willing to make this commitment to yourself. All right? Let's do this. Who's excited? Yeah. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3. I decide to take ownership of my life. What? I decide to take ownership of my life. I decide to take ownership of my life. Give yourself a round of applause. If you said that with me, please stand up. Brilliant. Everybody give yourself a round of applause. Give yourself a round of applause. Let me tell you something. Stay standing up, guys. I'm sorry. What you just did there was absolutely amazing. You guys just made a decision that not many people are willing to do, right? Because everybody has the capability of doing it, but it starts off by having the willingness to take action. Right, Don? Absolutely. To take action. And you guys took that step today. So I want to personally congratulate you. I'm not doing it right now. I want you guys to find me before we leave today. And I want to shake every single one of your guys' hands. And actually, I'm going to give you guys a hug because I'm a lover, okay? Yeah. And I am very thankful for this moment right now, okay? And once again, thank you for giving me the opportunity to stand right here and talk to you guys. Thanks, brother. Thanks, brother. Thanks, brother. Thanks, brother. Thanks. I did. Thank you.